Hi guys, Kurt Provost here, your guide to all things new skin. I have not one, not two, but three brand new products to share with you in this video, and they are of course the Nutricentials Serum Pumps. These are three brand new serum formulations that really allow you to tailor your skincare experience to the utmost degree. It is super impressive what they have done with these products from all different aspects, from the user experience of just how easy these are to use as a pump action, from the serum itself, the consistency of it, the feeling on the skin, and the results that you get, the smell of it. All of it is amazing. I give these a 10 out of 10 in regards to the quality of the product and also the price. They are so accessible. These are the most affordable serums I have ever seen in regards to the results that they're delivering. I think they are going to be hugely popular, and the good news is that if you're in the US or Canada, then you can log on and have access to these today. They are launching in the North American markets. We were very fortunate in the Pacific markets to have a little preview of these, and they'll be launching later on in different markets around the world, so stay tuned for that. Now, because there is such a story behind each one of these, I'm going to do a brief overview, or at least attempt to do a brief overview of all three of them and kind of who they're going to be best for. And then I'm going to hand it over to one of our very talented new skin scientists who will go into much more detail on the active ingredients in each serum for those who really love those details. So before I go into the overview of the three serums, I should give an overview of Nutricentials itself. Now, Nutricentials has been a range that's been with Nu Skin for a very long time. It's traditionally been the basic range. It's been for younger skin, let's say 20s to 30s, maybe a few in their 40s plus. But recently it has undergone an upgrade, and oh boy, has it been an upgrade. The key idea here is that they are using bioadaptive ingredients. Now, what on earth does that mean? It means simply that they are sourcing active ingredients from some truly remarkable plants that exist in the world, that are out there living in the most extreme environments you could possibly think of. Like there's the resurrection plant that famously dies because of a lack of water. It's in a desert environment. And then when it gets water, it resurrects itself and comes back to life. So they've been looking at the active ingredients that have allowed that plant to have such versatility, be so kind of resilient and robust. And they've put that into our skincare so that we have bioadaptive ingredients. And that's just one example of it. There's about 7 different plants, like the chaga mushroom as well. It's not just plants, there's fungi, there's all sorts of different things that they're accessing here from a massive database of natural ingredients. And then they're applying it to different products in the Nutricentials range. So there are toners, there's cleansers, there's already a serum called Celtrex serum, which is one of my favorite serums, and that can be used with these three. These are like an additional, they can be mixed together, they can be used with Celtrex as well. This is just allowing you to tailor your skincare to another level, kind of to really get the results that you're looking for, because no longer is it simply a matter of having a certain skin type, you know, all right, I've got dry skin, I've got oily skin, or I've got combination, or whatever it is, and then there's just that type of skincare for you. Well, we understand that there's many different elements to that. Maybe you've got dry skin, or maybe you've got oily skin but you're dehydrated. Maybe you've got this combination but over here, and in wintertime it's a bit like this, and all this kind of stuff. There's the aging, there's stress. Well, now you can tailor your skincare to exactly what you need rather than just trying to fit it into a box of it's just dry. So hopefully that makes sense. That's the Nutricentials range, and this is the latest addition to that. So the key, let's start with this one because this is my favorite so far. This is the Ceramides and Postbiotic mix. So it's the light green tube, and in regards to the packaging, I really love it because you've got the pump action here, so you squeeze there and just take that off and you'll see, all right, just squeeze a little bit there and apply it to the skin, obviously to the face. I've been using this one as the first step. You can use them in any order, whatever order you want, but I like the consistency of this one. As you saw on my hand, it just really absorbed really fast. It comes out kind of like a water. It's the most liquid form that we have out of the three of them, and so I use this one first because it absorbs so fast. I mean, that's absorbed in already just as I'm speaking to you. So it's great for the base layer. Now, who is this for? Well, this is fantastic for smoothing out your skin and soothing your skin. So it's great for those who have dry skin, maybe those who have sensitive skin, or those who are a bit dehydrated, and also the aging skin, you know, the skin that is like a flower that's starting to wilt a bit. This is going to revive it and bring back some life thanks to the ceramides and, of course, the postbiotics. Now, postbiotics are, this is the first time I've heard of postbiotics, and I looked into it. It's really interesting, so maybe stay on for the scientists going into it. But my take on postbiotics is they're not probiotics, which are the living organisms of our microbiome, because our skin has a microbiome, of course. It's part of the microbiome. If you're not sure what that is, check out this video here where I go into more detail on the microbiome and the importance of it. And I love that skincare is now taking into account our microbiome, and our microbiomes have been damaged in many cases on our faces thanks to invasive procedures. Maybe you had a peeling of some sort, maybe you had too harsh of an ingredient or a chemical on the skin, and it has damaged your microbiome on your face, and it's created a sensitivity of some sort. Well, this is going to be the ideal serum for you that's going to be helping to repair that microbiome with the postbiotics. So postbiotics are not the living organisms, they are the results that come from those living organisms. They are enzymes, peptides, different things that are beneficial for the skin that are generally created by that microbiome, and will really help to encourage a healthier microbiome on your skin, which is such a cool idea. So that is the first one. That's the Soothe and Smooth. And the next one that I use in the line of just my average morning is the hyaluronic acid and B5. Now this I use second because it has a much thicker and kind of denser appearance to it, as I'll show you right now. So the other one just kind of runs out very easily, whereas this one, if I tip my hand upside down, it's not going to go anywhere. So it's a much thicker consistency, and that's because it's got 4 different types of hyaluronic acid there. And why the different types? Well, first and foremost, there are a bunch of different types of hyaluronic acid out there, and they vary in size greatly. And so the larger the molecule of hyaluronic acid, obviously the closer to the surface it's going to sit. So if it's very large, it'll just sit on the surface or draw moisture from the air and hold it to your skin. That's great. But the reason why they've got different types of hyaluronic acid is so that they're different sizes. They'll penetrate deeper to the skin. Obviously, the smallest ones are going the deepest, and they have different benefits depending on that size. So this one, packed full of hyaluronic acid. This has had incredible results. It was, I believe, 150% increase in those who were tested. This is a clinical study that they ran with it. Those who tested within the first 6 hours, 150% increase in hydration. After 12 hours, it was still 100%. And after 24 hours, they still all felt that it was much more hydrated than anything else they'd used. So this is really, really powerful, and so I use it as the second step. Now the third one, and who would it be for? Well, obviously the focus on this is hydration. That's why the nickname on the back here is Hey Hydration. That's kind of the cheat sheet here. So who is this for? Someone who is feeling dehydrated. So that first person I described is actually going to do well with both of these working in unison. So apply that one first and then this one to really seal in the hydration, and you will feel how smooth and hydrated your skin is throughout the day. The next one is Bakuchiol. Now this is a very exciting ingredient. You've all probably heard about the benefits of retinol for the skin, and that is a type of vitamin A. It's a very powerful ingredient. It gets great results. So it's helping with the skin tone, discoloration, pigmentation, these different aspects there. The problem is that retinol is a very strong ingredient, and for some people it can have some negative consequences. There can be, irritation, sensitivity, all this sort of stuff. And there's times that you can use it and cannot use it. Well, Bakuchiol, which is an awesome plant-based version of retinol. It provides the same amazing benefits of retinol without the side effects, without the negative aspects of retinol. So this is for someone who has always wanted to use retinol but hasn't been able to use it, or it's for someone who's using retinol but is not enjoying those negative aspects that may come from using it. So the cheat code on the back there is Get Even. They're nicknaming this one. Of course, it's helping with the skin tone, evening it out, and a whole bunch of other benefits, which I'm going to let the scientists get into. So who is this for? Anyone who loves retinol, who wants to use retinol but hasn't been able to. It's for aging skin. It's for the skin that has some pigmentation, the discoloration, sun damage, all these sort of things, who wants to even the skin tone, even the complexion. I use this one at nighttime. Just because it's a more powerful ingredient, so I want it to have the benefit of just me being asleep as it's working its magic, and then I use these two during the day and this one at night as well, after the Bakuchiol. So that's just my own random combination. That's not based on anything other than the consistency of it and also the potency of some of the ingredients. So, of course, there is much more to each one of these, but that's the brief overview that I could provide in this moment. If you have access to them right now, if you're in a market where you can get your hands on these, the best way to try them out is just go buy them, because they are so affordable. I can't quite believe the price that Nu Skin has got these at. I think they're going to be incredibly popular, and I think you're going to love them. So take a before photo. My personal results have been just the feeling on my skin. I have not been using the boost during these last few weeks. I just wanted to really see how my skin responded just using these serums, and then I'm going to start to introduce the boost with these serums as well as an additional thing. And quite often after these, I haven't been applying any moisturizer, and right now in Australia we're in the middle of winter, so the air is very dry. Generally I would have to have a very heavy moisturizer on for my dry skin, but with these, haven't needed it. It's been an incredible experience, so highly recommend them. That's long enough for now. For those who want to stay on for the more in-depth look at these different serums, stay tuned. For those who don't, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications to be notified next time I create a video like this. And any questions, well, I will do my best to answer them in the comments, or you can find my contact details at the end. Of course, you want to get your hands on these, well, as soon as they become permanently available in different markets, I'll put some links below that you can get access to these awesome new products. That's all for today, guys. Ciao.
Let's start with our hyaluronic acid and B5 pump. And if any word about these stands out, it's going to be hydration for this hyaluronic acid pump. This is your pump for when you need that burst of mega moisturization. And it's able to do that. Like I said, it has the worry-free ingredients, it has the bioadaptive botanicals, but then it has this hyaluronic acid cocktail, and which means it has this blend of these different forms and molecular weights of hyaluronic acid, which we're going to dig into more and why that's important. And then it also has vitamin B5 or panthenol. So looking at some of the claims of this formula, where I really want to kind of highlight is this providing major hydration. Because we did a third-party clinical on this, because we always do this with our key hydration products, is we want to show how quickly they work and how long they work. And so we were able to show in a third-party study that we were able to get a big boost of hydration after 1 hour, so very quickly. It continued on to 12 hours, still up very high, plus 100%. And then it was continuous hydration for 24 hours. So this is your go-to if you need that boost of hydration to your regimen. If it's one of those really dry days or you have a dry climate, it's that perfect boost that you need. And then it also kind of helps keep your skin smoother and more supple, conditioning and softening the skin, and then supporting your skin's natural moisture barrier so that you can continue to retain that moisture that we are adding to the skin. And then there's a couple other ingredients, the mulberry tree root extract and then sodium hyaluronate that we're going to be digging into. And those are actually grown in unique controlled environments. So moving on to, because this is the key star, if you look at the package, it says hyaluronic acid. So what is hyaluronic acid? So it's a sugar that's found naturally in our skin, and it holds water incredibly well and helps keep it hydrated and plump. Honestly, you cannot view a commercial on TV for a skincare product right now, or read an article, or look anywhere, honestly, without seeing hyaluronic acid mentioned. It's just one of those staple ingredients that's just so efficacious that very few things can beat it. It's just fantastic. Now, one thing to kind of note, and this is like an insider skin tip, is that you're going to hear hyaluronic acid on every advertisement, but pure hyaluronic acid is not typically used in skincare or hair care because it's not stable in this acid form. So what you're going to see on your label is sodium hyaluronate or another salt form, and sodium hyaluronate is the most common. And it's that water-soluble salt that's derived from hyaluronic acid. So that's what you're going to see on your label, but they'll kind of use the common name of hyaluronic acid. So there's your tip. Now, hyaluronic acid is not just one thing, and that's what makes it such an interesting ingredient. It can be found in many different molecular weights, from very small, so like a 3,000 Dalton size, and just a Dalton is just really just a chemical unit. You may have heard it in a chemistry or physics class before, and it can go all the way up to like 8 million Daltons. And it really depends on what you want the formula to do. These higher molecular weights, closer up in the millions, they're going to stay on the surface, and they're going to really form a moisturizing film just to keep your skin hydrated. And that'll also just make your formula feel amazing. You're going to have that nice aesthetic glide. Then you kind of have some of your medium to some of the lower weight, molecular weight hyaluronic acids, and that's more longer lasting hydration compared to the high. And then we have our low molecular weights, which are smaller, so they are going to penetrate deeper and offer a deeper hydration because they have that potential of migrating deeper into the skin. And so what you need to know about formulating a product with hyaluronic acid is that we don't want to just use one molecular weight. We like to tackle things and like issues like hydration and dry skin in multiple ways. That's what makes Nu Skin awesome at what we do in making formulas is the way that we formulate them. And so we mix different molecular weights together to be able to get multi-benefits and pull everything we can from this fantastic ingredient. Now, I'm going to talk really quickly about the forms of hyaluronic acid that are in this pump, because as I said, we didn't just put one in there. That would not be the Nu Skin way. We are tackling this dry skin problem in multiple ways to make sure you get the bang for your buck. If you use this product, you are going to get the hydration. So first we have our hydrolyzed sodium hyaluronate, and that's our smaller molecular weight, and it's produced by enzymatic degradation, and it's going to penetrate into the skin, and that's going to moisturize and help strengthen the skin's barrier function. Now, the next one is sodium acetylated hyaluronate, and this is a unique derivative of hyaluronic acid because it's been modified to have both lipophilic, oil-loving, and hydrophilic, water-loving kind of properties. So it's going to be able to stay on the skin, preventing that water loss and improving moisturization. And then we have two different forms of just straight sodium hyaluronate. We have the lower and the higher molecular weight. So we have that more of that kind of deeper hydration and then that hydration layer as well. So this complex, this cocktail of all these hyaluronic acid derivatives is what makes this product so special and gives it such wonderful properties. Kind of continuing on, looking at all the ingredients, like I said, this has all of the bioadaptive botanicals and Nutricentials that makes Nutricentials so amazing. It has that hyaluronic acid cocktail that I just talked about. And then it also combines with a vitamin B5, so that's panthenol. So that's going to help condition and soften your skin and leave it kind of feeling that silky smooth. And then we have our white mulberry tree root extract. And so this is a unique ingredient. It's kind of cultivated through a controlled environment, and it's going to help prevent and protect against damage and premature aging caused by external stressors. So it fits perfectly into the Nutricentials story, kind of continuing to build on our heritage of these bioadaptive botanicals that help with external stressors. So there, we've got through our first pump, and that's already a lot, but we got 2 more to go. So hold on, and we'll jump right into our ceramides and postbiotics. So if the first keyword for the hyaluronic acid pump was hydration, ceramides and postbiotics is smooth and soothe. So we're going to soothe your skin and we're going to smooth it. And so this also has that bioadaptive botanical complex, like I mentioned, is that's across the line. And it has 3 skin identical ceramides, microalgae, and lactobacillus ferment. And we'll go more into what this lactobacillus ferment is because it's a postbiotic that's gentle on the skin's natural microbiome. And all of these work together to protect and strengthen your skin's vital moisture barrier, which leads to the smoothing and soothing benefit. And then we have an additional ingredient, ectoin, which is really cool. I also have a slide on that one because we're going to dig into that one. It's going to help visibly smooth the skin, We're gonna have an apple extract, which has an interesting story as well, that gives a burst of moisturization and an amino acid blend. So what I'm saying in this is essentially all these key ingredients are just awesome. And we're gonna dig into a lot of individual slides and kind of tell you some of why we picked these specific ingredients. So looking at the claims, kind of some of the key ones here kind of go into the strengthen and protect your skin's natural moisture barrier, to prevent that water loss, to soothe, hydrate, and visibly smooth skin. And then it being made with this postbiotic that is gentle on your skin's natural microbiome, which is very important if you have that more kind of sensitive skin. And then it also features this glass microalgae, which is cultivated through controlled environment agriculture. Continuing on, let's talk about why we would use a postbiotic maybe versus a prebiotic or a probiotic. But before we talk about why, let's talk about what they are quickly. A prebiotic, what those are substances that promote the growth of beneficial bacteria on the skin and inhibit harmful bacteria. So essentially it's bacteria food. So you would put an ingredient in there that would help encourage the growth of bacteria you would want. So that's a prebiotic. Then we have probiotics. And this is an interesting subject because a probiotic is technically a viable or a live bacteria, which when consumed or applied in adequate amounts will confer a good health effect on the skin or on the host. And so it provides that good bacteria to the skin's microbiome, and which gives wonderful skin benefits. You see lots of postbiotics that are kind of marketed, but a lot of them are actually fermentations. They are not live bacteria because live bacteria are incredibly difficult to put into formulas, because some of the challenges of that are if you have a live bacteria, how do you keep it from growing and overtaking your formula? There's regulatory compliance, and you want to ensure there's no contamination, but you want to keep the probiotics viable. So you can't put preservatives in a formula if you have probiotics. So often if they are using live bacteria, they'll have you put it in the fridge to but not too cold. You have to be very careful to keep it alive. It's not the best to work with any sort of personal care. So we have picked the postbiotic category. And what that is a non-viable bacterial products, or these metabolic byproducts, and it's from probiotic bacteria. These products are produced during fermentation from these probiotic bacteria. And so that could be enzymes, peptides, there's neuropeptides, polysaccharides, there's lots of different things that you can consider kind of determine based on what benefit that you would like. Now, once again, because we are new skin and we don't just pick any old postbiotic, we do our research and we want to ensure that we have something unique and something that confers a great benefit that's different than our competition. We're using a special lactobacillus ferment, and it uses a mildly heat-treated lactobacillus strain that's non-viable, but the key to it is that it has its structures that are intact, the bacteria. So you get the benefits of a probiotic without the challenges of live bacteria, which is kind of the dream, to be able to have that kind of synergy. So we get the benefits without having to make you put a formula in your fridge. So yes, that is why we chose to go with a postbiotic. Looking quickly at some of the other key ingredients, we have the lactobacillus, which I already mentioned, the glass microalgae, which helps soothe skin and support the moisture barrier, reducing water loss. Ectoin, which I'll talk about next. Our apple extract, which is incredibly cool, because what's cool about this is that it's actually an upcycled ingredient from the apple juice industry. Because when they do apple juice, they kind of squeeze out what they need, and there's parts of the apple that are left over. And so instead of just throwing that out, they actually are able to extract this natural saccharide complex from it and get these amazing moisturization benefits. So we're using something that would be waste to really complement our product. So it's a really cool sustainability story there. And then we have an amino acid blend, which helps hydrate the skin. So going into what ectoin is. So kind of salt lakes and deserts are really harsh environments on Earth. We already talked about with deserts, our Selaginella lepidophylla, or our resurrection plant, how that kind of had to develop unique systems to thrive in that environment. There are bacteria that grow in these different harsh environments as well. And there's highly adapted bacteria called extremophilic microorganisms, and they defy these dryness, high salt content, and extreme changes in environment, and they're called extremolites. And so our ectoin is a type of extremolite, and it's accumulated by halophytes, are these salt-loving bacteria. And so essentially it's a very nice protective molecule. It protects cytoplasmic biomolecules of these extremophilic microorganisms. So it protects them against environmental conditions like UV, heat, freezing, dryness, etc. So we confer those benefits, those protection benefits, onto the skin, similar to how we did with our bioadaptive botanicals. So once again, a beautiful kind of next generation addition to our story there. It really helps add another dimension to this Soothe and Smooth product. Okay, and then now we've reached our last pump of our discussion today, which is Bakuchiol. So we had hydration, we had Smooth and Soothe, and this one is Get Even, or even skin tone / kind of that minimizing the appearance of lines and wrinkles. So very defined usage occasions for these products to get that specific boost of benefit that you are looking for to add to your Nutricentials regimen or whatever regimen you are using in our Nu Skin line. And so kind of the key benefit of this is the key ingredient is this 100% plant-derived antioxidant Bakuchiol. It's a naturally derived retinol alternative, and we'll dig more into that. So it helps gently even skin tone and minimizes the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. We also have an appearance from our apple extract, get that beautiful sustainability story in there again. And so once again, just a beautiful addition to the regimen, really focusing on this kind of fine lines and wrinkles and even skin tone as well. Going into our claims, we'll focus here with our visibly even skin tone, helping minimize the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, giving that skin just soft, smooth appearance, radiance, glow, and moisturization as well. And then we also have a unique ingredient grown through controlled environment, and this one as well, this Jania rubens extract, which once again we'll talk about in a second. So let's first dig into the star of this product, which is Bakuchiol. So it's extracted and purified from these babchi seeds from India, and it's used as a natural alternative to retinol, but it has a completely different structure than retinol. And the reason why having that completely different structure is important is it doesn't actually overload the retinoic acid dependent pathways in your skin like retinol. So that's what kind of helps minimize any irritation that you would have. Because normally with retinol, it's known to kind of be a little bit harsher. And this is able to have a lot of efficacy without some of those kind of the side effects that you might have. And so, like I said, get this gentler than retinol, because that retinol can be converted to retinaldehyde, then retinoic acid, and then that can cause that irritation due to those overload of those pathways. It's an antioxidant, but it is comparable to retinol in improving photoaging and cell turnover. So it's working through those similar mechanisms, so you're going to get fantastic benefits from it. And then our additional ingredients was this Jania rubens extract. It's a unique marine herb that really helps kind of help the even skin tone and minimizing, or helps reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. So it's kind of working with our Bakuchiol there. And then our apple extract, as I mentioned, to give that burst of hydration to your skin.